Hey guys, it's Tammy. Well, today I am out here. I've been doing yard work actually, but I wanted to come out here and show you my jewelweed. So I want to show you this jewelweed before the heat really takes over and it looks horrible, worse than it does now. It was really beautiful here a few weeks ago. Jewelweed in itself, we're going to make a salve today is what we're going to do, and it's a salve that I use for for myself for one thing, for poison ivy, but my neighbor, she loves it. I've been making it for her this past year and she just absolutely loves it. But I want to tell you something before I go into this even more, in case I forget to say this. For one thing, I will have a disclaimer at the bottom. Please read that disclaimer before you make this salve or whatever, if you decide to make this salve. Second of all, the key with jewelweed, because there's a lot of mixed feelings about jewelweed, and from my experience, the key with jewelweed is you need to get it on you at not long after you are exposed. Now for me, I'm going to speak for myself here. I'm out here working in the yard, pulling weeds, cleaning out flower beds, da-da-da-da-da. There's poison ivy all over this place. I can come out here and work for, I want to say, an hour, and then I'll run over here to my jewelweed and I'll just tear some of it off, and I'll show you here in a little bit how I do this. I'll tear some of it off and I'll just rub my hands with it really good. Or I'll go in the house and I'll use my salve or my oil. I've also just got the oil without it being turned into a salve. If I do that promptly, then I'm good. If I wait till the next day, I'm going to end up with poison ivy. Sometimes, even if I do that, I'll have a tiny blister here or there, but generally none. But I figure maybe sometimes I don't always hit every spot that I should hit. So that's the key with jewelweed. And even if you do have it full blown, this will help heal it quicker, and the actual salve has got other properties in it that will help it heal quicker too. But let me get on with this, because I really want to share this with you guys because I love jewelweed. It's got antifungal properties as well. Sometimes it's been known to be used for athlete's foot. Other than that, I can't say that I know of anything any more than the athlete's foot and the poison ivy that this is used for. But anyway, I want to get on with this and show you guys. Oh, look here. So it popped. I jumped and I knew it was going to do it. See that there? That's a seed pod. A lot of people call these touch-me-nots because you can touch that seed pod and it'll bounce off of there. I don't know if I can catch this or not, but watch. Well, there it went. Did you see it jump? It jumped off. The back of it jumped off. And there's your seed pods in there. Don't know how well you can see that. But this is the time of year that it starts releasing its seed pods. I said I was going to get some seeds off of it this year. I'm going to try to. As you see, you got to be very careful when you do. Here is a bloom. I've actually got a picture that's posted with this video that you'll see a better picture of the bloom. Now, what I like to do best with this is, well, I'm just jerking this whole thing up here. But this stem, when I come down here, let me see if I can prop my camera up. Okay guys, if I was out here working in the yard, just coming out here and deciding that I were to put some of this on my hands, I get this, I break it up, the stems. You can see I'm just kind of crushing up these stems. Just keep crushing them up. You can even do the leaves too, but there's a lot of juice in the stem. And then I just rub my hands down really good with this. Just keep rubbing until you get them juices on there. Now that's if I don't feel like I'm going to be going in the house immediately or whatever, because it will work. Okay, so see there. Now, to harvest this, sorry, the wind blew my camera over. To harvest this, I'm going to take this stem. I'm going to break these little limbs off, tear this bottom off. You know, a lot of times, guys, we can harvest way too much of stuff that we don't really need. So I suggest a pint-sized jar would be plenty, probably even not even full, half full, just depending on how bad of an issue you generally have with poison ivy. So there, I crumbled that up and I curled it up, and I'm going to do the same with this. If you want to, you can take a knife and break it up good, just however you want to do it. Just keep breaking it up, and I'm going to put this in my jar. So there is the jewelweed we're going to put in my jar. We stick this in here, and we're going to go around to a couple other plants that we're going to actually use in this salve because of other properties that they have. Second of all, in our salve, guys, I am going to use plantain. This is the Broadleaf Plantain. I think I've already done a video. I'll look to see if I did. I'll try to put a link up above. But this is plantain. Now I'm going to use that in my jar. I actually went and got me a jar and got my jewelweed in there. So now I'll get my plantain. Let me show you how I'll do it. I'm going to use a little more of the jewelweed than I am the other two herbs that we're putting in here. But I broke up my plantain. Just, you don't have to have no fancy thing. There's no rhyme or reason with this. Just tearing it up into pieces and sticking it in the jar. Okay, guys. Now the reason I'm using plantain in this salve that we're making is plantain it's good for eczema, any type of skin irritants. It's a great anti-inflammatory on the exterior of your skin when it's put up on your skin, and it has tannins in it. Tannins are what they use when they tan hides. It is what, if you think about a hide, whenever tannins is put on that hide, it draws it up. It has an astringent ability to where it draws things up, which will cause your skin to heal. Think of a open wound. You know, if you put tannin on that open wound, it's going to draw up. It will help stop bleeding in that aspect. So, which you most likely you won't have bleeding with poison ivy, but you know, even with the blisters and stuff, you want things to draw up. And so this is going to be excellent for helping with your any poison ivy, even after it breaks out, for that matter. But it's also going to be anti-inflammatory on the surface, even if you don't break out. So that's going to be a great one for this salve. I love putting it in there. Anyway, plantain is also supposed to have somewhat of a numbing effect on it as well, and it also will help in creating a barrier with that tannin. It'll help create a barrier to ward off infections and stuff like that from coming in. But the next one that we've used in our salve, in our, well, to-be salve, is going to be calendula. As you can see, I'm not alone up here on the hill. Hi, Annie. How are you? What are you doing, Sissy? You want to talk to us? For you guys that may not know, this is Henny Penny. She's about to come up here, I do believe. And she is the mommy to little Chicky G there. It ain't actually her baby by blood, but she hatched him off. And a couple of the goats are up here with me. You can see that we're trying to get the outside of the house redone. It's a work in progress, guys. This is up on my hill. Anyway, guys, this is where what I've got that's still blooming. Calendula is. Most of it's already done its thing, but I wanted to bring it out directly to see it. It's still doing some, and I got a lot of seed heads here. But I'm going to do my calendula now. To put in it, I've got more calendula in the house, so it's probably ain't going to be enough. I'll have to get more. I'm going to leave that one because that's going to have some good seed heads on it. Okay, guys, let's kind of talk about the calendula a little bit. Calendula can come in different flower heads, so don't be confused by this if you've got the bigger flower heads and stuff, because this one's just a small one for one thing, but there's also the puffy ones. Calendula There's different categories of anti-inflammatories. I think there's 4 different categories of anti-inflammatories. And calendula, it's an excellent anti-inflammatory in the aspect of it's high in essential, any kind of herb. I think chamomile is one of them too. Any kind of herb that's very fragrant, and calendula is very fragrant. I love to smell it actually. They're usually high in essential oils that's actually in them. And due to them being high in essential oils that's in them, you can even smell this, inhale it, and it will help relieve anti-inflammatory, any kind of swelling going on, even in your sinuses for that matter. This is excellent for your skin. This is probably the most excellent recommendation for skin inflammation, from eczema, different things. Actually, a good eczema salve to make is with calendula and the plantain, and what's in mine? There's 3 different ones that I use. I'll look that up here in a minute and I'll tell you for sure. But anyway, it's very excellent for that because it's a super, super, super anti-inflammatory. Therefore, it's also a great anti-inflammatory for your digestive system, which is really cool. All of your inner organs, anything within your digestive system, drinking a tea of this will help take the inflammation down from that. Also with PMS, periods, and stuff like that, if you have issues with a lot of inflammation and stuff going on there, even with your actual female parts, it will help with the inflammation in that. So therefore, in the aspect of inflammation, you can see how that's going to be super great for your skin. Actually, guys, there is a property in calendula that's terpene, T-E-R-P-E-N-E, that is what brings the healing properties that it has. Like for ulcers and it's even to help with the gallbladder, to help heal those properties as well. Other than that, that's the main thing. I tell you though, something that's a super, super, super great healer, there's actually been several studies about this too, is allicin. And allicin is a property that is in comfrey. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here, guys, but allicin is an actual property that's in comfrey. And when you combine comfrey and calendula, you get a superpower healing when it comes to external healing of bones, of skin, all in general. So that's a great one to know. I actually want to go into that more. I need to do another comfrey video actually, now that I've gotten a little bit more comfortable with doing things on the camera and not getting as bad scatterbrained. I still kind of lose my words sometimes whenever I'm on the camera, but anyway, that is why you can see that this calendula is going to be super great to put in our salve. And I will use equal parts of that. Now we'll be going back up to the house here in a few moments, and we're going to put some olive oil in this. I prefer olive oil. A lot of people make soap with this after they let it set for 6 weeks. I don't, and I'll tell you why I don't. I have, but I feel like it penetrates into my skin better, and I can actually leave it on with the salve. Sometimes I'll just have the oil, because I don't actually make my salve until I'm fixing to need it. I made it by containers. And I'll have like this, basically I'll have this with the oil in it, and I'll keep it, and it's also good to keep this in the refrigerator whenever, just due to the jewelweed. The jewelweed is the main reason that this is good to be put in the refrigerator. After it sets for 6 weeks and you strain it and all that kind of good stuff. But then individually, I will get it out. I've got little containers that I put a little beeswax in and some oil, melt it down on a low temp, because you do not want to heat these herbs up, or your oils from these herbs up, and because it kills the properties that's in them. And I need to do a tutorial over doing that, and we probably will. I may, whenever this gets ready, I'll probably do a tutorial over that, because this video is kind of a little long, so I don't want to go into doing that. But thought there was something else I was going to say. Maybe there wasn't. I want to show you a couple things around here though while I'm outside, because I haven't done much outside videos here in the past little while. It's been so hot. I tell you, I come out in the mornings and I'm out here till about 11 o'clock, which today was a little longer than that. And then I wait till afternoon. I get my husband's supper done and get him fed. And while he's eating his supper, I get back out here and do some more gardening. I've actually tore out part of my garden. All my different zucchinis and cucumbers and part of my tomatoes. I need to go ahead and tear out the rest of my tomatoes. I got just a few straggler tomatoes. It's been so hot and humid, they've just kind of decided to say forget about this. And my corn is still in here. I need to pull it up. It's about dried completely. I want it to dry completely because I tried a new corn this year, and it's actually a corn that you can grind up for meal. And this is another video too that I want to do, and you can also use it like popcorn. So I'm anxious to do that, but to do that you need to let it dry on its stalk, you know. So that's still in there, and it makes the garden look kind of yucky. And the sunflowers, they're still drying out and doing their thing. They've flopped over good. I'm fixing to have to cover them because I think some birds is already trying to peck at them, and I don't want them to peck at them until, you know, I get them harvested and put in the bird feeder for this winter when they really need food. So, looky here. I have a friend, a YouTube friend. His name is Rick at Gardening in Gnome Town. I paused on that because it used to be an old camp ranch. But he makes birdhouses. He makes the coolest birdhouses. You ought to see them. If you'd like, you can go check out his channel and check out some of his birdhouses he does. But he's a great gardener as well. And I always loved his birdhouses. And I made me a little birdhouse to put over here. It's nothing compared to his. Mine looks retarded, actually. But you know what? The martins like it, so that's all that matters. I wanted the martins to come and hang out. That's the thing. Guys, one more thing I'd like to leave with you guys. I've really been blessed to be able to live where I live at. I mean, we have, our place is nothing fancy at all, but it's a place of solitude and serenity that just pulls you into the presence of God, to be honest with you. But anyway, I wanted to leave you with a scripture that's dear to me that I actually came back across just this week, and I thought, well, I like to add that because it makes me think of this place where I'm at and all, and how this place helps me to draw on the presence of God. And it comes from Psalms 84, verses 2 through 4. And I'm actually going to read the Passion Translation of this because I just like how it worded it. And it says, "Deep within me are these lovesick longings, desires and daydreams of living in union with you, Lord. When I'm near you, my heart and my soul will sing and worship with my joyful songs of you, my true source and the spring of life. O Lord of heaven's armies, my God and my King, even the sparrows and the swallows are welcome to build nests among your altars, for the birds to raise their young. What pleasure fills those who live every day in the temple, enjoying as they worship in your presence." And this is such an altar and a temple, to be able to be in the canopy of his creation. And you know, it even says that the birds build their nest and raise their young in the presence of the Lord. For them to do that, this is his canopy. This is his altar. And that blesses me And it causes me just to realize how small I am in this big old world, and how grateful I am to be able to have the things that I have. No matter how small, minute to some people it may be, it's great to me because it gives me peace. It gives me joy. Anyways, I thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you a great deal. I hope you got something out of this today, and even something out of the scripture today. I hope that it ministered to you in a way. And I encourage you to get out and enjoy nature, because there's nothing like it. Even if it's sitting on your front porch looking at a small tree, you know, every bit of his creation is amazing, no matter how small or how big it is. Even the color of a cat. I love to sit and look at the colors in my cat and how God designed it. And one of my cats is a tabby, and he's beautiful to look at. Anyway, I'll hush now. God bless you guys, and I will see you next time.